Greetings, Dartists. In this video, we go over dragon wraps, some exits, and a non-stall variation at the end. First off, I'd like to begin with some pointers on how to cast into the entry. With your lead hand in wheel plane, you begin with a downspin. As the dart rotates past your feet and rises in your blind spot behind you, you're going to thrust your wrist up and forward while both the dart and your fingertips are pointing behind. As the dart rises, you're going to direct your fingers in towards your armpit while simultaneously releasing your grip. This casts a favorable angle that rises above the shoulder and also has forward momentum. Now, if I did nothing with my body after this toss, I could potentially cast the dart into my spine. So I utilize a body shift to my lead side while casting the dart over my anchor shoulder, dodging all the momentum behind it. You want the momentum to carry the dart and fully extend the rope, but also avoid friction from your clothing, which might hinder or stall the rope. Once you've cast the dragon entry, you'll need to bring your anchor forearm or hand up to take control of the slack. And so that's the base of the wrap. It enters from under your lead armpit over your anchor shoulder. And now we'll get into a couple exits. So now the rope is across your back, and anchor hand raises into the blocking sun position, palms up, to collect the slack, while your guide hand reassumes control of the spin. The next step would be casting the wall plane anchor spin over the top of your neck. In this position, you are in an empty knot and have several options to exit out of it, such as tossing rock over mountain, a toss that unwraps over the neck. This technique's exit shot is the mirror image of its entry cast. Quickly, I'd just like to note here, when I enter the dragon wrap and I go into my stance change, I start off in wall plane with an anchor spin, and when I step forward, I'm still in a wall plane, but now a lead spin, and it is the lead spin that I'm tossing over my neck. So the directional spin remains the same, even though its orientation to you changes. So that was a dragon wrap with a lead spin cast over the neck, tossing rock over mountain. The next dragon wrap exit is similar. The Sparrow flies under bridge, a dragon wrap with a lead spin cast over the neck. The difference is, instead of letting go at the top, the rope hinges off of the neck, cast from under your chin toward the anchor side. Instead of releasing the fulcrum around 2 or 3, you'll delay the release until about 8 or 9 o'clock, and at around 6 o'clock begin to turn your torso toward the anchor side. A quick note on some tetherball physics. Whenever the distance from the fulcrum point is shortened, the time and distance it takes to complete a rotation around the fulcrum is lessened. Thus, the object gains an increase in speed. So if you could see what I just did there, I started to tug upon the fulcrum point right around 3 o'clock and prior to it reaching 6 o'clock. Shortening the distance of the rope as it makes contact with the side of your neck allows the momentum to increase. You only need to tug a few inches for this to speed up. As it flies under my neck, I isolate my upper body with it and then twist in the direction that it's going. Then time the release as the dart approaches 8 to 9 o'clock, ending with the projectile towards your anchor side. That was a dragon wrap with a Sparrow flies under bridge, and that move can also be done with a neck wrap entry, so a necklace wrap can also produce the same Sparrow flies under bridge. Next up, we'll be getting a little more advanced with the dragon wrapped non-stall overlords. This variation combines the dragon entry with a non-stall overlord. A standard overlord is typically entered through isolated pendulums. These pendulums enter your dark wall and then stall and twine over top each of your elbows, and then enter into a gauntlet wrap or into a projectile with your lead arm. The non-stall overlords are not easy, but once you pick them up, they are pretty fun to work with. Starting with the dragon wrapped entry, where you would normally have your blocking sun position, you would keep a horizontal forearm for the rope to lay across instead. This forearm will be the fulcrum point in which the entire move hinges on. As the rope downspins draped over your forearm into your anchor wheel, you're going to lift the arm while you simultaneously pivot 180 degrees towards your lead, then extending your lead elbow into your dark wall, collecting the rope descending in your dark wall towards your lead side, then generating a rear elbow shot as you step back with your lead leg. Now let's focus in more on the elbow lift here. After the dragon entry and the rope lands atop the forearm, you'll want to propel the fulcrum up prior to 6 o'clock and forward prior to 9 o'clock. This helps to give the dart momentum to sunrise over our head while we pivot. When starting out with this the first couple times, it's good to remember to look up right here during the pirouette to see the fall of the dart in the dark wall, making it easier to collect and execute your exits. You'll also want to remember as you're finishing up to follow through with your anchor arm, utilizing your full range of motion and also preventing the rope from slapping you in the process. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a message. Ciao for now.